I'm Jennifer. Today I'll be making Ensalada de Bacalao or codfish salad. What you're gonna need for today's recipe is some bacalao or codfish. You're gonna need tomato, onions, a potato, some eggs. You're gonna need extra virgin olive oil. I love this olive oil. It makes the utmost difference. You're gonna need some adobo, some onion powder, some garlic powder, and some black pepper. You're also gonna need a pot where you're going to cook your bacalao. So I'm gonna show you in a second. And I actually rinse each one of them off. I've totally rinsed them off. They should look something like this after you've already rinsed everything off. Now I already have my stock pot and I already have the water heating up. What I start to do is I just put the bacalao in there. I put in the 6 eggs. This would also call for avocado, but avocado can turn, black. If this is, since I'm making a lot, it would turn black if I put it away for long periods of time. So what I normally do is I would add avocado later on, but sometimes we don't really add avocado to it. I add the potato just like this. I washed it off, scrubbed it, made sure everything is good, and I add it right to that. There's a reason why I do it like that. It stays together, doesn't start to fall apart. I'm gonna cover it up and I'm gonna let it boil out for a while, because what's gonna happen is I have to come back after it boils the first time and we're going to dump out the water and we're going to check and see. You're going to have to maybe boil it a second time. So we're going to check it after it's boiled for at least half an hour. We're going to come back. Make sure that you've boiled it enough to the point where the potato has cooked all the way through, and so have the eggs, and that you could just take that out and put it to the side before you move on. So what you're going to do next is you're going to move on to cutting up or slicing your onion and cutting and chopping your tomato. So it boils down, actually too much. I should have added water in between, but it doesn't matter. Now we're going to dump this water out and we're going to see and make sure that the potato and everything is cooked. We're going to taste the fish and see if it's still too very salty still. If it is, then we're going to put it to boil with some more water again. What we do was we have 2 onions, so I sliced them and I cut them into pieces like this. I took the tomato and I diced it into little cubes I normally do. Okay, so we're back. So it's hot enough. So I don't measure this, and it's going to look like a lot of oil. I know it is, but you're gonna use a lot of oil for this recipe. The fish is gonna suck up a lot of that olive oil. So it should be warm enough. Now we're gonna add our onions. And you don't have to have this on high. It can be in a lower setting, the flame. Enough for it to cook down. Now you want these onions to cook down so they get soft and tender. It depends on you. Some people like the onions to be still a little firm. I can take it either way. You just let it keep cooking down. So it's gonna take a few minutes, and you don't have to season this yet. I still add seasoning to this afterwards. Okay, so we're back. We're gonna check our onions. So I don't know if you can see that. Some of them are still a little hard. So we're gonna give it another few minutes. And we're gonna cook this a little low, not too high, because then your onions will start to burn. And I can already tell this needed more oil. I'm going to add a little bit more oil. Now I can start adding the tomato. So I put a lot of tomato in mine. You could put bigger pieces if you want. So I used 2 onions, and you saw that big tomato I had. I actually wound up using a smaller tomato. Now you're supposed to add potato to this, and I don't add that much potato only because my husband doesn't eat a lot of starch. I'm gonna put all the tomato in there. Because once this cooks down, not a problem. So now you see all the oil you put, you're gonna start to just see it disappear once you start adding potato and you start adding the fish. It's gonna get dry. But we're gonna cover this up and we're gonna let it cook for another minute. Cover it up. I'm gonna raise the heat a little bit. Not that much. And we're gonna come back. In the meantime, I'm gonna chop up. You're gonna see. I already started to peel the eggs. I started to chop up the potato. I'm gonna start adding that little by little. Now, it's been cooking for a minute or 2. Now you can start adding that potato. See, you may have said before, oh, all that oil, but you'll start to see it disappear. Now all that codfish, I started to shred it a little bit. Now you're going to start to add some of that codfish. I still have to add more, I have more. The more you start to stir it, the more it's going to start to fall apart. It doesn't matter how much it falls apart first. So we're going to start to stir it. Now you see all that oil is gone. And believe it or not, you may have to add more oil. Because this is not something that's supposed to be dry. This is something you're supposed to eat what we call vianda. Some people call it verdura, which is going to be like cassava, yam, things like that, malanga. So you don't want it to be dry. You're going to actually wind up putting some more oil in this. But you see how I mean? And we're still going to put the egg in this. We just want to stir. You see how I'm going to keep stirring it and you're going to see some pieces start to fall apart. So that's why you wouldn't really cut it too much. I'm going to add, this is some onion powder. Also going to add a little bit of garlic powder. Also going to add just a little bit of black pepper. Now I'm looking to see. We're going to see if, because I'm seeing it dry. Yeah, it's very dry. We need to add some more oil. Remember, you need to have enough oil that when you put it on any of your vianda, it's gonna have some not gravy, but pretty much. You don't want it dry. It's not gonna be that. We still have to put the egg, so it's gonna make it still dry. So I'm gonna turn it a little bit. And now we're gonna taste it. You see how I just put all that oil and it disappears? And remember, you would add avocado to this too, but you can use it and put it at the end. Like the day that you're eating it, you can have a fresh avocado and you yourself put it and mix it together. Now when I was little, my grandmother would make it and she would layer egg on top of it. And then us kids would eat all the egg and she'd be upset with us. I don't, and most people don't. They start to add the egg to it. Now you're gonna cut up all the egg and you're gonna add it to it. And I'm gonna show you when I come back what it'll look like. I was actually tasting it because this is a different codfish that I've never used. So those are all the eggs. Now we're gonna try to fold it instead of actually turning it so that we can get the egg all the way through. without getting the codfish or anything else to keep breaking apart. And you see how you don't even see the oil anymore? It has absorbed all that oil. Sometimes what I'll do is I'll actually add a few tablespoons of water instead of adding oil and oil and oil, because it'll start to throw off its own juices. As it sits, the oil will start to sit in the bottom or wherever you're gonna put this now. This is what your end product should look like. Now if you want, you're also gonna add avocado to this. But like I said, the avocado is gonna turn black. Once you take this out, right? You would take it out, you would add el aguacate, the avocado to it. Avocado turns colors. It's gonna turn ugly. So what I do in my house, sometimes I don't even eat it with avocado. We'll eat it like this, we like it like this. But sometimes what we do is when we do have avocado, we'll have fresh avocado, take it out, heat it up. Some people eat this cold, room temperature, however you want to eat it, that's you. I like it hot. I like it warm. We eat it over, like I said, call it, Puerto Ricans, we call it vianda. Dominicans call it verdura. You eat it over banana, guineito, plátano, you know, plátano verde. You eat it over yuca, cassava. Especially we eat it with a lot of cassava, malanga, things like that, yam, that kind of stuff. You would have a plate of that and you would put this on top or to the side, and the gravy, the oils, you would put it on your vianda, on your provision, and you would eat it like that so that nothing would be dry. Then what we would do is when you would take it out of here, you would add your avocado to that. After it's done, like if you're going to eat it that day, you add avocado to it, or you could just lay the avocado on top. My grandmother did this in layers as a kid. Like she'd make this, but she wouldn't put the egg. She'd layer the egg and the avocado on top. This is really good. This is something, and it's somewhat healthy for you, believe it or not, oil or not. So when you take this out, you're going to scoop out what you want from it and put it on top of, you can even eat this on rice. I know some people that eat it on rice. If you have any questions, let me know. Leave some comments down for me below. If you have anything you want me to make in the future, just let me know. Write me. Please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching. Bye.